So I'm done cutting my patterns right now. So you can see what I did here. This is for the front where we have the illusion. So the illusion is going to sit right here. Okay. So I have this pattern fold and I cut 0.5 inch into my illusion, 0.5 inch into the armhole, 0.5 on the seam line, and on my I have both lining and fabric right here. So I have my 4 pieces of this, 2 for lining, 2 for fabric, left and right. For this I added 2 inches of seam allowance, 0.5 all around. The back I have 4 pieces. I have 1 inch for zipper, 0.5, 2 inches, 0.5 all around to the neckline. And my strap, I have 4 pieces of strap, okay, 1 on the right, 1 on the left, the lining right and left, and I added 0.5 accordingly, as you can see. So it's high time for us to start sewing the bustier. So I also hair stayed, okay, make sure you hair stay before you cut your pattern. So before I go ahead to the bustier padding, I'm going to make notches on my bust point. Okay, so this is my bust point. I'll make a notch on the bust point, I'll make a notch on the under bust, I'll make a notch on the bust point, and I'll make a notch on the under bust. So I'm going to pad right now, and then we sew in this into the armhole. So I also want to let you know that for the padding, I have a detailed video on this channel on how to pad. You can check it out, and how to sew your princess dart. Okay, so I'll not be repeating it because I already have it. So I will drop the link on the description box below for you, so you can go through it. So now I'm going to pad, and I'm going to sew in my princess dart. So the next time we'll be meeting will be when I'll be sewing my illusion, okay, and when we'll be attaching our strap. So let me quickly sew the princess dart bustier. You can check it out on the description box below. So I'm going to sew it now completely, and then we'll jump into the sewing of our illusion, cutting the illusion and sewing it in, and the strap. Right, so I'm done padding right away. So before I proceed to the sewing, I just want to show you how I padded. Like I said, I have a detailed video on how to pad on this channel, okay, and I'll be dropping the link on the description box below. So this is it. I'm done padding right now, and I have my notches everywhere, even at the wadding. I have all my notches at the wadding, as you can see. So this is what we have right now. I padded only the fabric. You can see is the fabric I padded. So the lining, I only hasted the lining, okay. So the lining will be without a padding. Alright, so I'll go over now to sew. So I have a detailed video on how to sew and how to pad. I'll send it on the description box. So let me quickly sew right now my princess dart, and I'll be back to show you how to sew the illusion. Alright, so right now I'm done sewing my bustier. So this is what I got for my bustier, and this is the illusion part, as you can see. So the princess dart has been stitched into the bustier. The lining, this is what we have on the lining. I've also given it a good press, as you can see right here. So the next thing we want to do now, we want to sew the illusion. So I've already cut out the illusion, okay. I decided to use a sequin fabric to sew my illusion. So this is it, and I will make a lining for it with my tulle fabric. So this is my tulle fabric. The tulle fabric stretches on one side, and on this other side it does not stretch too much. Okay, so I'm looking at the part that does not stretch much, so I'll be able to place it on the vertical. So here this part is not stretching much, so I'm placing it on the vertical to serve as a lining for my illusion. So I just place it right there. Okay, I'll place it right here and then secure with my pin. So it's going to serve as the lining to my sequin fabric. So I'm trying to arrange it appropriately before I cut. Okay, so I've arranged it and I'm going to cut right now, following the shape of the illusion. So you can see I added 0.5 inch all around, so I have 0.5 inch added. So now I've cut. Remember, this is the upper piece, so please don't forget the upper piece. So I will secure the upper piece. Okay, so I'll spread my illusion and drop on top of it. So I'll go to the machine now. I'm going to run a basting stitch on top of it. So the part I pinned with the pin head for the yellow will be that is the yellow pin head will be the upper part, and the white pin head is going to serve as the down part. So I'll quickly go to my machine now. I'm going to run a base stitch to hold it on. Okay, so once I do that, we'll go to the machine to sew the illusion. Alright, so it's time for us to start sewing the illusion. So you can see I ran a basting stitch to hold my two fabric and my illusion mesh. Okay, so now I'm going to sew this illusion. This is how the illusion is going to be. I'll be turning it this way to sew. But then for you to sew very easily, you need to cut open the center front line by the neckline. Can you see? So once I've cut and separated it, I'm going to sew right now. So this is it. Remember, the upper part is the part I pinned with the yellow pin. So now I'm going to place it not anyhow. I'm going to make sure I have the tulle 0.5 inch below, as you can see. Then I'm going to move it this way and secure with my pin. So I'll secure with my pin right away, in a way I can sew on top of my pin. So I will match it up like you sew your bustier. I'll keep matching it up. I'll keep matching it up. Okay, so that is what we have at that point. Now take off my pin for ease of sewing. Okay, so this is where I'm going to start my sewing now. I'm starting from the beginning and I'm sewing at 0.5 inch. So I'll drop my press foot at 0.5 and I'll start to sew. But from the tip, remember we did not add any seam allowance, we just splitted right here. So I'll start from the tip and sew into the 0.5. So I'm going to back stitch now and take off my pin for ease of sewing. So I'll match up just like you sew your bustier, and I'm taking my measurement to be sure I have this sewn at 0.5. Can you see? So I'm sewing at 0.5. As I'm sewing, I'm matching up. I believe you are seeing what I'm doing right here. Okay, so as I'm sewing, I'm matching up, and I will stop at 0.5 and back stitch. So once I'm done on that part, this is what it looks like. So I can now take off my pin. So this is what it looks like on the right side. Can you see? So I'll flip this part this way, okay, and make a notch right here to enable me sew in that other part. So I'll just make a notch to the point I stitch for ease of sewing. Then I'm going to flip to this other direction. Can you see that? So I'm flipping to this other direction, and I'm going to arrange it also. Okay, so I'll use my pin and hold it down first, then and sew.